Are we rolling? Yes, we are. What's up, guys? It's your boy McKinley Crain here. Today, I'm going to be doing my spoiler-free movie review of the 2016 action film Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. So the main reason why I'm reviewing this movie today is because Wonder Woman 1984 was just recently released in the United States a couple days ago, and I saw that, and I saw it and loved it. So I decided to start reviewing all of the DCEU movies that I haven't already reviewed, and hopefully rank them soon from my least favorite to my favorite. So yeah, that's the main reason why I'm reviewing this movie. Anyway, this movie stars it has two main characters. So the first main character is Batman, aka Bruce Wayne, who's played by Ben Affleck. And the second main character is Clark Kent, aka Superman, who's played by Henry Cavill. They both give perfect performances playing their characters. I'm not even joking. I love this movie. And I always have. It's a perfect movie in my opinion. I'm not even joking. I know that this movie has a lot of haters, but I'm not even joking. I consider this to be a perfect movie. Is it in my top 10 best superhero movies of all time? No. But it is a perfect superhero movie in my opinion. So I love the stuff in this movie. I saw this movie a couple of weeks after it came out, and I loved it. I personally didn't didn't mind a lot of the stuff in this movie that most of the people who saw this movie were bothered by. I loved it. I loved every single thing about this movie. I love this movie. It's awesome. Do I think that Henry Cavill is the best Superman actor ever? No. I still like Christopher Reeves better than I like Henry Cavill, but Henry Cavill is he is a great Superman. And I think he's gonna get better, and I actually think that soon he will actually surpass Christopher Reeves, or Christopher Reeve, however you say his last name, as the greatest live-action Superman actor. I think that he's gonna do it, because the Snyder Cut's coming. The Snyder Cut of Justice League is coming in 3 months. And yeah, I think that Henry Cavill might actually surpass Christopher Reeves as the greatest live-action Superman actor. I think that Ben Affleck is the best live action Batman that we've gotten? No, but he still gives a perfect performance, and he's still a great actor, and he's still a great Batman. Like, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say this: he will never be as good as Christian Bale was. No one will ever be as good as Christian Bale was. No one will ever do as good of a job as Christian Bale did playing Batman. No one. But that doesn't mean that, like, the other Batman actors can't, like, come close and can't also do, like, a perfect job. Like, Ben Affleck did a good job as Batman. Did a good job playing Batman. Michael Keaton did a good job playing Batman. Adam West did a good job playing Batman. So, like, what I'm saying is, even though Ben Affleck is not as good as Christian Bale, like, when he's playing, let me rephrase this. Even though Ben Affleck is not as good as Christian Bale on playing Batman, and never will be, like, no one ever will be, that doesn't mean that I don't think he's a good Batman or a perfect Batman. He is. He's just not as good as Christian Bale was, and no one will ever be. I mean, I'm really excited for the new Batman movie that's coming. Hopefully in early 2022 with Robert Pattinson. And I think it's going to be a perfect movie. I think that the Batman is going to be a perfect movie. And I think that Robert Pattinson is going to be a perfect Batman. But do I think that he's going to, like, surpass Christian Bale? No, because no one can. Do I think that he is probably going to surpass Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck and the other live-action Batman actors? Well, yeah, I mean, Robert Pattinson could be, like, a close second to Christian Bale, but no one will ever top Christian Bale. But yeah, he's still, Ben Affleck is still awesome as Batman in this movie. He gives a very convincing and gritty performance and kind of realistic. And this Batman is different than the other Batmans, the other live action Batmans. But, like, he's still a perfect Batman. He's still a great Batman. He's still a perfect Batman. He's still, Ben Affleck is awesome in this movie. And he gives a very convincing performance. Like, you can tell that, like, he knows what he's doing when he's playing Batman. And Henry Cavill gives a perfect performance. Henry Cavill also gives a perfect performance playing his character, Superman. Even though, like, in my opinion, he didn't give as good of a performance as Ben Affleck did in this movie. Ben Affleck, in my opinion, Ben Affleck gave the best performance in this movie. Even though, like, everyone in this movie gave a perfect performance and playing their character. The whole cast is great. Gal Gadot, aka Gal Gadot, I don't really know which pronunciation of her last name is the correct one, because I've heard lots of people say Gal Gadot and lots of people say Gal Gadot, so I'm confused and I don't know which one, so I'm just gonna say both. Like, she's also perfect in this movie. She gives a very convincing performance as Wonder Woman and an amazing and perfect introduction. Like, she gives us an amazing and perfect introduction to like live action Wonder Woman and just Wonder Woman as a character. And in my opinion, Gal Gadot gives the second best performance in this movie. So yeah, Gal Gadot, aka Gal Gadot, however you pronounce her last name, gives a perfect performance as Wonder Woman. Aka Diana in this movie. So yeah, in this movie, like, you may be wondering, why are Batman and Superman fighting? Um, it's because of like a whole bunch of reasons. It's because they just don't agree with each other and they don't trust each other. They think that they think that like you know the, the other one is like a threat. Like, Superman thinks that Batman is like, a threat, and like, he shouldn't like have the authority to like, even be fighting crime. And he's like too like secretive and stuff like that and mysterious. And Batman, like, thinks that, Superman is just, it's kind of like the same thing. It's like he can't be trusted, and he thinks that like he's a threat, and he's just not trustworthy. So yeah, they all that stuff like just leads to them like fighting. And that's actually a very good reason for them fighting. And let me just say, even though I prefer DC movies over Marvel movies, and always will, there are certain Marvel movies that I like better than certain DC movies. And let me just say, I do prefer Captain America Civil War over this movie. I just think it did a better job at like, just executing like, executing its story. And for a couple other things than this movie did. Both of those movies are perfect, and perfectly executed. It's just that one is better. But anyway, I still, I even though I like Civil War better than BVS, which stands for Batman vs Superman, by the way. I still, like I said, I still prefer DC movies over Marvel movies, and DC over Marvel, and always will, even though I love Marvel too. If you've been watching my channel for a long time, you should know that by now. I love Marvel too. I love Marvel almost as much as I love DC, but I just like DC more. Even though I love them both, I like DC more. But like I said, Civil War did a better job and was a better movie than this one. A lot of the criticisms that this movie gets like, involve Jesse Eisenberg's performance as Lex Luthor. And like, I can totally understand why a lot of you guys don't like him. And like, I know he's not like the most comically accurate depiction of Lex Luthor. I know he's like way different in this movie than like, he's ever been in like the comics or like, the other movies that he's appeared in. But, who cares? I still thought his performance was great. He was like I think that he was like, Jesse Eisenberg was very witty in this movie, and very over the top in, like, a good way, playing Lex Luthor in this movie. And I didn't have a problem with him, and I thought he was a fun villain. Is he like do I think that Jesse Eisenberg is the best live action Lex Luthor? No. But he is a perfect live action Lex Luthor. And I really enjoyed, like, this movie's whole cast. And I really just enjoyed this whole movie. I liked, like, certain things in the story of this movie that other people didn't like. I liked the ending and the direction of this movie. I liked it. I loved it. And is this the best DC movie or the best DCEU movie? No. But that doesn't mean it's not great and it's not perfect. This movie made me feel emotion, and it made me care about the characters in this movie, which is always a good sign. And I just liked the character chemistry in this movie. I thought it was fantastic. And I thought that the CGI in this movie and the action scenes in this movie were also fantastic. And yeah, I'm gonna give this movie a 100% out of 100%, which is the equivalent of an A+. Once again, I'm not joking. That's actually what I'm giving it. That's actually what I gave it. That's actually what I'm giving it. Anyway, before I go, tell me down below in the comments if you've seen this movie, what you thought about it. Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you mildly dislike it? Did you have mixed feelings about it? What did you think? Tell me down below. Like, subscribe, join the notification squad. I will return.